So, this is a really cute shot. Look. Oh my gosh, who is he? Cute. Bobby said I look like a Dalmatian, so roof. Ooh, ooh. So, David decided that he didn't feel comfortable doing the part I asked him to do on the short that I'm making. So I'm gonna try and replace that character with a fully animated character in Blender. I didn't feel like I had enough actual information explaining stuff, so whenever you see me sitting here, this is me from the future explaining stuff from the past. So when I started this project, originally my idea for the hologram character was to have David perform just a couple of lines in front of a wall, and then I'd do this effect here, which I'll show you, which was just the test to see if I could do it with David's character. But then when David decided he didn't want to do it, I ended up deciding to try a full 3D animated character. This may be a mistake because I've never done animation, but I'm following a tutorial to do facial tracking in Blender so that I don't have to hand animate a face. So hopefully this works. If not, then I'm probably just going to have to do it myself. I don't know, film myself with my hair in some way that I can get away with the idea being that it's two different people. But I think it'll work. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. As soon as I'm done working today, I'm going to go shove a bunch of tracking markers on my face. Reverb City in here, bathroom. So I don't know how many people know this. I got really into makeup for a second. I did it for plays that I was in. But I was really hoping to get more into actual makeup and glam myself a bit. I never really did. But I have eyeliner, which is very useful because right at the moment, right at the moment that's what I need to make the tracking marks on my face that I will use in Blender to track for the animation. So it's really useful that I have that. So yeah, let's go figure out how to stick these on my face. I'm using my headphones to hold my hair back. I have a hair thing, but this is just easier. Plus, if I need to listen to the video about it, then I can just pop one on and do that. So that's what I'm doing. Probably gonna have to turn this to be able to see while I'm doing that, because I'm gonna be looking into the mirror. Okay, so I'm following this tutorial by CG Matter. That's from middle of last year. I'm just gonna try and copy the tracking he has on his face. I have no idea what I'm doing. I know I'm acting stupid, but being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish, but I feel so young. Drunk, I've never seen you clearer than now. We're flying high, floating somewhere up in the clouds. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're like wheels that won't stop turning. So take me on a trip, now, trip. Oh, flick that switch, kill the lights. Oh, wasted. City lights are shining so bright. All these empty faces, we don't care about them tonight. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're the wheels that won't stop turning. I know we're acting stupid, we're being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish, but I feel so young. Just go a little crazy and lose it. I don't care if we're It'll have to do. It'll just have to do. Now it's time to videotape myself. Just straight on, very flat lighting, and try and track this face. Because I'm pretty certain I would scare children if I were to walk anywhere with this face. So, we're not going to try that at all. I decided to go ahead and purchase a second camera. That camera is the Blackmagic Cinema Camera 2.5K. I've decided not to redo any shots using the Blackmagic, at least for this short film, because... Sorry, I'm trying to screw something onto the camera while I'm recording. Because the Blackmagic currently only has one lens, which is something I'm working on remedying, because you should never just have one lens. That's insane. Why would I do that? And it's a 50, but on it it's like an 80, so it's really not that useful. And the footage, it's huge and it needs to be graded, and I don't have any sort of practice with that, which is the entire reason that I got the camera, was so that I can practice with that. So I just need to use it for things first, and then get some more lenses, really learn how to do the post-processing on that before I actually, jump into using it on a short film. Plus, the footage from the Canon looks great. There's no reason I shouldn't use this, and so since I already have it, I'm not going to reshoot anything. So just a note, yes, I am shooting this vertically. It's just going to be easier. I get more of my head in the frame doing that. And I'm not lighting this to be pretty for video's sake, but I'm trying to light this to be perfectly flat so that it's easy to track. Okay, well, now that that's over, we're just gonna hop over to this desk over here and try and do some post-production, do some 3D stuff in Blender, and get this all tracked. So let's do that now. Let's show you what's up in Tracking Town. So this is a really cute shot. Look, oh my gosh, who is he? Cute. This is what we have. We're in Blender, obviously. That's what I got so far. Gonna track the rest of it now. But, just one track at a time, so. My gosh, look at... this is better than glam. Gave up on the glam, but I still got it. Don't at me. So, I have tried a few things to get this render to work. I tried adding keyframes and trying to get keyframes for the bones in the armature, and I think that's what the problem is. I think somewhere there's a disconnect between the animation and the deforming of the actual object in Blender's relation. I'm not sure what or how to fix it, but that's what I think is going on. Basically, I could go through and render out each individual frame as a still image and then put them together if I wanted, but it would be absolutely ridiculously time consuming to render out individually 149 frames. So I'm not doing that. I did it. I friggin' went through and I exported every single individual frame as an image instead of trying to do an animation, and now I have a thing that I can use. So it's done. I've done it. That took me a lot of time, but that's not what actually took up the most time. What took up the most time was me just not wanting to edit it together and feeling like it didn't look good, it wasn't good enough. In the end, I did just put some stuff together and throw some effects on it. I got some sound effects from Bobby. He made some hologram sounds for me that I then tested and picked out the ones I wanted and layered those. He did the voice effect for the animated 3D model, which is just my voice, and you can tell it's my voice, but at least it has some sort of effect on it. And that was really good. I wouldn't have been able to do that, so thank you so much, Bobby, for doing the hologram effects for me. Sound effects for me. I exported the finished product and sent it to Bobby and David for final review, and I forgot to put the color grading on it, and they both mentioned it, but instead of just looking back and being like, oh, maybe I should go color grade it, I was like, no, I color graded it perfectly. This is how I wanted it. And then when I did go back in to do like a final look over before I exported it, I realized I didn't even have the color grading turned on. So then I turned on the color grading and did a lot of adjustments to it. So there's a few things I've learned from this process. The first one is I've learned a lot about 3D and 3D animation and like visual effects and the importance of sound and a lot of that process. I've learned a lot about filming by myself, being the only subject and being the only DP. This project didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it. I'm not even specifically very proud of it, but I'm proud of the things I've learned and the process I went through just to make sure I finished it. The other thing I learned in this process was not to be too cocky about what I've made, specifically dealing with people who I asked to tell me their opinions and then came back too strongly before I did any sort of looking into what actually happened. They were correct. I didn't do any color grading and it looked terrible. And I just came in full force being like, no, it's good. And so I've learned a little bit more about, trying to take criticism more effectively and constructively instead of just automatically defending my work for no reason. So that's kind of overall what I'd say I got out of this. I learned a lot about color and a lot about framing, and even though it's not great, it's not well framed or well colored, it's not even particularly well lit, I did learn a lot in the process of doing it. It was fun to set up, it was fun to take, it was fun to color, and I feel like I have a lot of things that I'll be putting towards future projects. So that's good. That's kind of what this project was about, was getting out of the creative rut and just making something. And it took me a lot longer to make it than it should have, and I'm not proud of that fact, but I'm very proud that I actually went through with it and finished it even though it took longer than it should have, because I feel like it was something I needed to do in order to get myself in the groove of actually making things and getting something out there. And so hopefully this will move forward into my next projects and be very a good starter, a good pushing spot for me to make future things better. I do have a goal of making 2 specific short films that I've written in the next 5 years. And they're bigger short films that I want to do right. So I need to do all of these smaller projects to learn and grow as a filmmaker before I get to those projects, so that when I do get to those projects, they end up being something I'm proud of. So this is the first step, and there's more to come. So thanks.